Welcome to the Firearms Insider Gun and Gear Review Podcast, episode 205. On this show, we showcase gun reviews, gear, and anything else the gun enthusiast may be looking for. We strive to evaluate products from an unbiased and honest perspective. I'm your host, Chad Wallace from the Firearms Radio Network, your source for broadcasts for shooters, hunters, and all things firearms related. In this show, we'll be discussing some 10 millimeters, a Masada, and the Grey Ghost Precision slide review. Tonight on the podcast, we have Zane, Tony, Rob, and a newcomer, Kevin. And so we're going to go to what we did in firearms, and we're going to start with Kevin because he can explain what he does, and then we'll go on to these other guys that don't really matter.
Well, hey, man.
So hit it, Kevin.
All right, man. I appreciate you guys having me on. My name is Kevin Dixie. I'm an owner-operator of No Other Choice Firearms Training out of St. Louis, Missouri. And pretty much what I do besides being a trainer and a review guy and, playing with all the nice toys, the biggest part of what I do is I have a holistic mission to enrich the lives of those that I like to call the underserved. And what I mean by underserved are those that are underinformed about their human rights and along with their gun rights and the Second Amendment. So our approach through my program, Aiming for the Truth, is what we basically do is put on a conference, if you will. And that conference is set around enriching all the things that really people should be focused on, and also focusing on what causes violence. Hence the reason Aiming for the Truth and the tagline is sighting in on the real issues. So a few of those things are mental health, employment, money management, investing in your children. We like to bring in resources to help people address all those things in various forms. That way they can understand what they're protecting. So once it's proven once you show people what they're protecting, what they're working hard for, give them resources to help them achieve that mission, it's easier to talk about the Second Amendment and firearms and now why it's important, because the Second Amendment, guys, we already know, but it's about helping enrich lives and then showing them exactly what they're protecting. So it's just a holistic standpoint, and that is the driving passion of what I do.
Great. Well, we appreciate you doing that stuff, and thanks for coming on the show and helping us talk about stuff. I mean, unlike other shows, we don't really ask you bunches of questions. We just kind of let you say your thing, and then we go on to what we do. So Rob's next on my screen. Rob, so what'd you do, Rob?
Yeah, the weather's kind of been crappy down here this last week and a half. And what I mean by that is down here in Florida, it's been rainy season. So just driving over grass, cars are getting literally like sinking into the grass. I don't know how it is down in South Florida, Zane, but around here, there's tire ruts and everything everywhere, and it's just too crappy to go out and do anything gun-wise. So I've been not doing a whole lot, unless you count that I took my scope off my rifle and sent it back to Vortex to take a look at the illumination feature on it. So, but they're really cool about, just send it and we'll take a look at it. We'll send it back to you.
That kind of counts.
Yeah, so the biker. Yeah,
I guess we'll go to Tony next. Yeah. Tony.
Oh, you talking to me? Yep. Hold on a second. Yeah. What did I do this week in guns? I did nothing but carry and dry fire, man. That's all I did this week. I overdid it last week. Really busy with the class. Last Sunday with the diversity shoot Monday. Then we got into Wednesday, and I don't think I went anywhere. So, didn't do anything. Really sucked. All I did was dry fire and carry my gun at home where it's legal.
Yeah, that's better than nothing. Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Yeah, the second is for everyone. The second is for everyone podcast. I did recorded 3 episodes of that. How's that?
Hey, that works for me. I guess we'll go on to Zane, who, knowing him, he probably shot some pistol caliber carbines and and probably nothing else, but we'll let him figure it out.
Yeah, I didn't shoot a pistol caliber carbine, because anything with 4 points of contact on the gun should be shooting a rifle caliber. But I did rebuild an upper for a buddy of mine. He was trying to replace his handguard, and whoever put the barrel nut on before him used a metric lot we'll say, ton of Loctite on the barrel nut. So he didn't have the proper block to use for his vise, and when he tried to wrench down the barrel nut, he crushed his upper. I had an upper laying around, so I rebuilt his upper for him. And aside from that, I got into an argument over night sights on Facebook, and that's about it.
You got into an argument over night sights. Wow.
Yeah.
On Facebook, no less.
You know I like to argue with people on Facebook, so.
Well, did you win?
I just find it.
No.
It doesn't matter if I win, I was right.
Well, there's
no winning at arguments on Facebook.
There is no winning arguments on Facebook. There's none of that.
That is true. That is true. I guess we're on to me. What did I do? Let's see. I went to the range Sunday. Said hi to one of our listeners. His name's Ryan B. He was shooting a 3-gun match at the local range. He's from down south a little farther. Said hi to him, talked to him for a little bit. Was doing review for Vortex Viper PST they sent me. And so eventually we'll have a review on that. And then I went and shot some pistols with a guy I know. I kind of know him. He's pretty big on Instagram, one of those guys. It's like at Forever Against the Stream or something. You can look him up. You'll figure out who he is.
Chad, what PST is that you got? What?
That's the Gen 2 5-25.
Okay.
First focal plane, MRAD reticle.
All right. Okay. I'm looking at a 1. I'm looking at a 1-6. So I was just curious if it might have been that one.
No, it's not the 1-6. They just kind of. I mean, it's one that I'll end up sending back, and that was the one I wanted to try out first on something, and if it works out well, we might get something else to.
Is that a Vortex
review?
I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll buy it.
Of course you will.
I love Vortex.
Yeah. So, yep, that's what that one was. But yeah, I forgot to ask.
Listen, if you're doing reviews and we're just gonna get stuff, why don't you review some Night Force stuff and I'll take it. Just letting you know that. Yeah,
if they send me stuff.
I am not going to comment on Night Force. No.
Did you actually do anything in firearms, Kevin?
This week? Let's see. What did I do? No, this week I actually had a weekend off, man. The family went on a vacation without me, so I'm still trying to figure out how that happened. But they did. I was stuck trimming bushes, and I did have a couple of meetings, firearms related, but no, this weekend I didn't get to shoot. I found out, shockingly enough, that I got an early Christmas present, so that was cool. I've been dying to get my hands on an FNH 45 tactical for a minute, and I found out that my wife is kind of surprising me with one, so that's nice. So that's
nice.
Good. That's a fun gun.
Yeah. I had the FNX 45 and I got rid of it because I wanted to have a little funds toward the FNX 45 tech. I just wanted the case, really, to be honest with you. I just like the case. There it is.
Hey, that's a good enough reason.
Right there. Decked out.
Oh, yeah.
As a 9mm aficionado, I can say that the FNX 45 tactical is one of my favorite guns to shoot.
Wait a minute. This is a single double. This is not even striker. It's not a Glock. You can't like it. Zane only likes Glocks.
I understand I'm not supposed to like it, but I do.
I think hell's gonna freeze over, Tony.
The best part about it,
the sky's parting or something.
It's recorded, so the whole world is gonna know.
If it had a steel frame and was double single, yeah, then hell would freeze over. But it's made of polymer, so he can kind of justify it.
Yeah.
It's
got a hammer on it, though.
No, it's like a Jewish person eating halal. Like, he can do it, and they won't throw him out of the club. But he really should just eat kosher.
Okay, and with that, I guess we'll move on to the announcements. Bandwidth sponsor is Patriot Patch Co. New patches for pre-order. It looked like there was one, but you can join the Patch of the Month Club for get some awesome patches, kind of like this cool shopping
The shopping
cart full
cart
of
where they got
guns.
the gobbler.
Yep,
They
the
got
gobbler
person with the
pulling
hand
the,
grenade.
Yep, and see that one.
There you go. Gobble this. It's missing a word though, but I think we can all figure out what word should be there, right?
That's right.
Hey.
Listener support program. You can go to this firearmsradio.tv/pledge gun gear review podcast and pledge your support. It's kind of like Patreon, I guess. So you can give us some money and that helps us with whatever we do. Maybe like to review. Hey, if you're shopping Amazon, use the affiliate link at firearmsradio.tv/Amazon because, that really helps the shows out. If you are shopping Black Bag Resources and want to donate shopping cart to Tony Simon and his diversity shoot, you can use the coupon code Simon Says Train and it will donate it to Tony. Oh, I think we're done with announcements. So I guess I have to actually get to work and do something now.
Oh, Lord, here we go.
Exactly. Well, I have the wonderful Grey Ghost Precision Glock 19 slide, which is pretty sweet. I also have a barrel that goes with it, and the reviews kind of all thrown together. It was going to be easier that way than separating them in this case, since they're both the same manufacturer. Well, they were nice enough to send me one of these slides. They come stripped, as most do. They are quite beautiful if you like stuff like that. I'm surprised Zane doesn't, isn't drooling or something, but he might be. They're pretty useful.
My camera's off. I might be. You don't know.
Yeah.
Keep your camera off. I don't want to know what you're doing back there.
Okay, it's made from 17.4 stainless steel. It's black nitride coated, so it's durable. You have to add everything. This is their V1 slide, which has the angled cuts back here and these slotted cuts up here for the cocking serrations. It is also their RMR cut slide and has a cover plate we'll get to in a little minute. Actually, I'll just kind of go through this. These are cut pretty deep, the cocking serrations, both front and rear. I really like that. You can get a good purchase on it. Either cycling the slide, doing failure drills, stuff like that. It's not like super sharp either, like it could be. They did a good job, but very functional. They also make a V2, which instead of having these cutouts and angles, it's kind of a golf ball, like, I don't know, texture on it. They have one of those too. I mounted it on the Polymer 80, which we did a review of a while back. Basically, once the frame is correct, or if you slide it onto a stock Glock frame, it slides right on. It's pretty tight. I mean, the lockup on this and the barrel is super tight. But when I didn't put it on this frame, it slides right on. They are made with tighter tolerances, so it doesn't surprise me that they're tight lockup. But the slide to frame fit on this particular Polymer 80 is super tight and super smooth. They do make this without an RMR cut if you want. I think as it is, the price is the same. So I don't know why you wouldn't get one with the RMR plate. The plate is G10, which is what you use for, like, in Zane's case, real guns that use grips on the panels. It has their fancy little Grey Ghost Precision Ghost skull thing in it, so that's pretty cool. The barrel on the hood also has that little skull on it. Imagine that. There are rumors that they only right now make it for an R cut, but there are rumors they're going to make it for the Delta Point Pro and the Vortex. So maybe wait if you're really hooked on getting one of those, or if not, buy that one. Grey Ghost Precision tells me that with their slide barrel combination, really actually just the slide, they say, you can get a 30% accuracy over stock. It seems a pretty bold claim, but when I shot it, I was shooting pretty good with it. Most of the ammo I was shooting about a 3-inch 5-shot group. I mean, I know it's only a 5-shot group, but at 25 yards. Over at the Firearms Insider on the review, I didn't actually measure one and the ones I took pictures of course, I didn't measure them. But it's on a USPSA target, and you can see 5 shots. And the funny part is they're like in a circle. Highlighted the A zone of the target, which is like, I think, roughly like 6 inches wide, so you can get an idea of how it is. And that was good shooting for me. My eyes are getting kind of old, so I have trouble focusing on the front sight like I used to. Plus, at the range that I go to, they have a couple plate racks. They have a 6-inch plate rack at like 20 yards. With this slide barrel combo, it was no trouble whatsoever just to hit those plates, which was pretty cool. You move the target into 7 yards, and as you would expect, if you take your time and do what you're supposed to, you can get pretty much one ragged hole, inch, somewhere around there. Slide functions great with most ammo. Actually, it functions great now with every ammo I ran through it. Most of it was 115s, 124s, and 147s, but I do have some subsonic 165s. And when I first started using it, it had a couple stovepipes running that ammo. But when I was out there Sunday, I ran a bunch of it through, and it worked fine. So I'm guessing it just needed a little bit of a break-in period. Nothing you could feel, or, the faster ammo seemed to cycle it better. Some was factory, some was hand loads. I even ran some plus P hollow points through it. So when I wrote this, and plus this weekend, I probably have about 600 rounds through it. And most of those are the 115s and 124s.
Hey, Chad, what do you have that made? What do you have that mated to? A stock Glock frame or a Polymer 80?
It's a Polymer 80 frame.
Okay.
I did run it on somebody else's Glock 19.
Do you attribute that to the slide or possibly the frame? The
slide.
Okay.
I really do.
Okay.
I just don't think the Polymer 80 frame is. I mean, it's really good for what it is, but the way this fits on other guns and the Polymer 80, I think it does a nice job of being tighter tolerances. And you can kind of feel it if you slide it on this front locking block that has the slide grooves in it, you can kind of feel how smooth and nice it kind of rides on there. So.
Okay, and a break-in period is not out of the question for most guns. So I was just curious as to
what
you're running on.
Yeah, and that was the thing is the slide. That's why even when I ran it on a it didn't need broke in or anything. So I mean, yeah, and being that when I put it on here, it was a new gun. I cycled it a lot by hand to get it because it's a Polymer 80 frame. So. I don't know. It doesn't even look like it's had any wear on this, like frame rails or anything on this thing. So, about the barrel, it's 416R stainless. You can get them in threaded or non-threaded. They sent me a threaded one. You can get them in stainless or black nitride. just like the slide. Threaded for half 28, so if you have a suppressor, you can run it on that. Hey. But basically when I asked them, that was about all they did. They don't list the threaded ones on the site at the moment, but I know that they are available. So they say the barrel uses a proprietary twist rate. So I don't know exactly if it's a single twist rate or if it is a progressive twist rate. They wouldn't tell me. So it's good. In 0.003 of an inch, plus or minus. It has SAMI spec match chamber in it. So, hey, you get it's a nice barrel. I didn't have any problems. It is normal cut. It is not, so you don't have to worry about running lead if that's actually something you do. So I'll give you a few experiences while shooting. I did use it in the rain. It didn't feel like my hand was going to slip off the serrations or anything when they were wet. If any of you have shot, most of you probably have, an original 1911 with those super tiny little grooves in it. When my hands are wet, it feels like they're going to slide off those, but it didn't really do it on these. They're big enough, wide enough, get a good enough grip on it. When I put gloves on, shooting gloves, oh man, it was like they almost like stuck to this thing. So you can even get a good grip with gloves on. I was really surprised because gloves typically are kind of awkward, as we all kind of know. The front serrations make it nice if you do press checks. I typically don't, but a lot of people do. If you get, I've found, not with just pistols in general, if you have some sort of jam where it's stuck, good front serrations give you a good grip on the slide if you need to. So that's always a plus. They are available for Gen 3 and Gen 4 19s, and they make 17 slides and barrels also. They are really nice. I actually like the finish better than like the Glock Tennifer finish. So there is that. But if you're in the market for a slide for a Glock pistol, go check out Gray Coast Precision. They can probably help you out. And if you like skulls, that's even better. So we'll get into the 8 key points. Claim to fame, aftermarket slide and barrel for Glock style pistols. Imagine that. Target market. Those wanting custom Glock style slides, especially with RMR sight cuts, or those just assembling some sort of pistol like a Polymer 80. Features and benefits. The slide, it's 17.4 billet stainless is what it's cut from. It is black nitride coated. This does have the RMR cut. It does come with the G10 cover plate for Gen 3 or Gen 4, and it is precision machined. CNC machines, I'm sure. The barrel's 416 stainless. It has a matched chamber, proprietary twist rate, and if you don't get the stainless one, it is black nitride coated. Basically, you can get the Gen 4 or the Gen 3 and 4 G17. There's another review from Soldier Systems that there's a link to. The price point, the slide is $399. The barrel is $179.99. I found you can buy the slides from Rainier Arms also, $383.04. Don't ask me where they got the 4-penny price from. So they're right in the ballpark with pretty much everybody else's slides. So it's not like it's not like they want $700 for one or something. So if you need it now, go to Gray Coast Precision or Rainier Arms. For our rating, I gave it pros, functional, which of course kind of guess. Looks great. It does have the RMR cut. It comes with the RMR cover plate, and the black nitride coating is going to last you pretty much forever. The only cons I could really find with it is it only comes in black. So you're going to have, if you want something else, Probably going to have it Cerakoted. And, even though I'm not a Glock lover, this thing really is. I gave it a 9, which was amazing. I was going back and forth between like 8.5 and 9. And I'm like, this is pretty nice. I guess I better give it a 9. So that is the review. If you guys have any more questions, hit me up. I
got a question for you on the RMR cut. What holds the RMR in place? Is it just the screws, or are there bosses cut in? Or
there are. The plate sits down. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you can really see it. I'll put my fingernail about where it sits down to.
Right.
So there's a boss cut. It's cut curved in the front with this like the RMR is, and then you got the 2 screws. They do make it pretty tight, and they said I actually heard them on another podcast saying that if you were to happen to buy one and the RMR does not fit, they will fit it for free. Just send it back to them and they will fit the RMR on it.
Okay, so they're not relying solely on the screw. A lot of companies are relying solely on the screws to fit RMRs, and that's severely decreasing your RMR life. And at $600 for an RMR, that's a concern. So.
Right, and in this case, they did it the right way. They made it tight, but yet it should fit most RMRs, because even though everybody has tolerances, but Trijicon's pretty good about theirs.
Right.
So,
all right, cool.
So there is that, and who knows what else? Anything else, guys? Nope. Okay, we can get on to the product spotlights. And first up is the Tony Special. As people might have already known, High Point is coming out with a 10mm carbine. Well, we actually have an MSRP, which the article I linked to does not, and they're going to be $389 for the 10mm carbine. I'll go over some of this stuff from the link I have in the show notes. Tony actually talked to them, so he may actually know more. As you know, it's a High Point carbine. Millimeter, knowing them, it's 10-shot magazine. Is that it is sold in America. It's got the grip mounted clip release, is what they say. So I guess it's not a magazine release this time. Regular thumb safety, adjustable sights, rails, as opposed to like Picatinny rails. Comes with sling, swivels, and scope base. It's a black polymer stock. Last round hold open. Much about all the info I have on it. I don't know if Tony, you got any more info on it?
Yeah, give me a second. Did you go over the fact that the barrel is threaded?
No, I did not.
Oh, okay.
It did not say that in the article I said.
Yeah, I contacted them today, and they shot me an email with their press release that'll be coming out soon. Yep, it's, of course, the raised rubber butt cheek piece. And it's available in every color you'd ever want, as long as all you ever want is black. It has the barrel threaded at, 0.57 by 578 by 28. Same thing as 45.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, like 45 ACP suppressors. Yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
So you can put a $500 can on your $300 carbine.
Well, yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, you just funny, dude. Oh, is that a thing? Is that a thing? As you put like a $500 handguard on your $500
of America.
I'm just saying. When people talk about price and accessories, when they put overpriced handguards and grips and optics, and it never stops. Shut your face and mouth. Anyway.
Optics are important. The rest of it,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, as I was going through, they have a 17.5-inch barrel, which is cool because that adds just more feet per second as it rolls through. But I think everything else was covered. One of the things they didn't know until now is the MSRP, and that just came out today, which is $389.99. And these will be available January. So pretty much SHOT Show, when they're showing these off at SHOT Show and have them at Range Day, they will actually be available. Unlike most stuff you see at SHOT Show on Range Day.
No, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to say something about. Okay, everybody kind of knows that. Yeah, it's a high point, but their carbines are pretty good. But they are one of the few people that seem to have been able to make a 10 millimeter carbine that actually works and get one to market. So that's a plus.
Well, it's going to come to market. Yeah. It's already made. The thing is, it's blowback. You have to, when you do a blowback operated handgun, most blowback operated stuff, nothing really gets over 9 millimeter for the most part. High Point's one of the only companies I know that sell stuff 45, 40, and now 10 millimeter. Most people just don't because the spring's too stiff or the slide just has to be crazy heavy. That's why High Point pistols look like a brick made it to a 2x4. This same thing, I think the gun weighs 7 pounds, the rifle weighs 7 pounds, or carbine, whatever. And that's mostly for the blowback, the operation. But the cool thing about that blowback operation is expense. Cuts down on how much the firearm itself costs. So that's one of the less expensive ways to get, that's how you get that price point. I went looking for anything else. There was a 10 millimeter pistol caliber carbine, and the only thing I found was a K10 from Olympic Arms, and that's $1,000. And
Olympic Arms is out of business.
Yeah, and their magazines are $45 a piece. So you're not getting it because Olympic Arms is out of business, and all these were made to order. So pretty much you have to find someone that has one and then buy the magazines that were $45 when the place was open.
So I'm on record many a times basically saying that anything with 4 points of contact in the gun should be shooting a rifle caliber.
Yeah.
I'm also on record many times stating my disapproval of High Points. I have owned in the past a High Point 9 millimeter carbine, and I did not like it very much. Now, my question is, what is the purpose of a pistol caliber carbine in 10 millimeter? Because they already have it 9 millimeter. So other than fun, I'll give you fun. Aside from fun, what is the purpose of a carbine chambered in 10 millimeter? Can anybody explain that to me?
If you're in one of those states that you can only hunt with straight wall cases, you could probably use it to take a deer.
Here's the thing. People like Zane get locked into everything has to be like where they are.
Well,
and I've had this discussion. Hold on.
Right.
You put it out there.
All right.
All right. Here's the thing. Everybody ain't like you. A lot of people don't want an AR. Matter of fact, they don't want to have anything to do with a black rifle. But they can't afford the pistol ammo. They want the pistol ammo. And for 10 millimeter itself, there's a 10 millimeter cult out there. They're just people that buy into 10 millimeter and they want everything 10 millimeter, as we'll see without next entry, even if it doesn't make any sense.
Thanks, Tony.
Pistol caliber carbines themselves, I kind of understand where they came from because I actually had this discussion when I brought the High Point to the last diversity shoot. Why would you have one? Because for the price point, it's a good centerfire firearm. Why wouldn't I have a shotgun? Maybe you come up in a culture that the shotgun is not the thing you want. Maybe you don't want the recoil of a shotgun. Maybe you want the power of the 10 millimeter, which pretty much depends on the ammo you use, like really hot buffalo bore. You're coming out the barrel at almost 1,000 foot-pounds at the barrel. You're not shrugging that off. That's pretty dang decent. That's better than anything, including a 44 Magnum. So, and again, you 4 points of contact. What's up?
So my thing with that is if you're chasing power, if the idea is 9 millimeter is not powerful enough, so we need 10 millimeter. If you're chasing power, in something where you get 4 points of contact on the gun, skip all your pistol cartridges and go to a rifle cartridge, or even, as sacrilegious as it is for me to say it, a 12 gauge. Like, there's just no reason for a...
I just told you. I got 10 rounds. For the price of your 12 gauge, I got 10 rounds of 10 millimeter on tap, and I don't have to worry about short shucking it. I don't have to worry about it squaring up. I don't have to worry about the
30
recoil.
of 5.56.
Again,
right
if I live in a place where I can't have 5.56 or an AR, or I don't even want one, or it hasn't even entered my mind as something I want to carry, it's another option.
Yeah, I understand I understand why people like 10 mil. I mentioned it in pre-show, but I'll mention it again here, that I like the idea of a 10 mil in an auto cartridge, like for hunting purposes. But out of a long gun, if the idea is to have fun, 9 mil, 22, whatever. But if you're chasing like an actual something for power, something to actually do damage, get a rifle round. Like, I understand that the want for a PCC N9. I'm considering actually building a PCC N9. You heard it here first, folks.
On an AR.
On an AR platform.
Because that's the only thing you know how to operate. Go ahead.
No. Listen, you see this right here? I can operate that, all right?
I don't know why you're bragging. It's a friggin' Mosin, dude.
Yeah.
Slow kids in Russia's been using Mosin since 1899.
I'm just saying, I can operate more than an AR and a Glock, but I don't understand the purpose of a 10 mil in a carbine. Like, if you're really the people who shoot 10 mil in the forums, you hear people talk about why they carry 10 mil because it kills the soul or whatever, right? But so if you're really searching for that power, you need that extra quote unquote stopping power, which isn't a thing, but whatever. Get a rifle. This is dumb, and I'm just whatever.
But because it's dumb, is that maybe the reason why they're making it? Because I think with 10 millimeter, if you don't have a true purpose for it, like I have a Glock 40. Just for the purpose of hog hunting. If a hog gets too close, within 10 yards, I can draw my sidearm and use it. But for most people, it's high point taking a chance to say, hey, we're doing something different. We're going to throw something out there for it. Because if MSRP is what, $389, so you probably get them for like $350, $340.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, probably something like that.
So are they throwing it out there because of just that? Because it's silly, and that caters to the market that, because it's silly, that's why I'm going to buy it. Because it has no practical purpose.
Yeah, I don't think it doesn't have a purpose.
Well, I do, but just before you jumped on in the pre-show, Kevin, just before you jumped on, I actually said that I want a Glock 40 for the purpose of hog hunting. I do a lot of hog hunting. I shoot hogs a lot, actually, because of what I work in, and that's a whole other story. And I like the idea of that, for that. But with 4 points of contact on the gun, I just got to pass. And you know what? If you already have a does High Point make a 10 mil pistol?
No, and they no, and they won't.
So right now we're already that throws the whole idea of like mag compatibility out the window, which would be the only thing I would be like, well, that's kind of cool. So I don't know, like.
Well, my thing is, how are you hung up on the caliber? So 9 millimeters okay, but 10 millimeters is just ridiculous because you're chasing power.
Correct.
No, I don't buy into your concept of even chasing power. They want a 10 millimeter. You don't necessarily have to be chasing power because you want to chase power. You can buy 500 Smith & Wesson Magnum lever action if you want to chase power.
Yeah,
you can buy 45-70 lever action if you want to chase power and still have, well, it's not a pistol caliber carbine, but you know what I mean, a 4.54 Casull. All of that is in pistol caliber carbines. But if you want a semi-automatic and you want it, if you can hunt hogs with a 10 millimeter pistol, you can hunt hogs with a 10 millimeter pistol caliber carbine.
And that's what I was going to ask. How long is the barrel on that thing?
17 and a half.
So it can build up some velocity then.
Yeah, you're still not getting the rifle velocity though. You're still not getting to that sweet spot.
You're not using a
Um,
rifle. I mean, why? I love the fact that in Zane's world, it can only be a pistol, a shotgun, or a rifle. There is no in between.
Well, so I
No. In
I
Zane's
I
world,
like
you can only have a Glock or an AR.
so in Zane's
Poor
world,
Zane.
Zane likes ballistics. I like ballistics, right? So
Mhm.
once we get to
No, Zane likes ballistics and lumens.
I like those too. I like lumens too. I got 800 around here somewhere. Right here. Here it is. But no, so with pistols, once you get to a velocity where you're getting constant expansion, with your hollow points, you're looking at what, 1,000, 1,100. Until you get to 22, 2,300, you're not getting that cavitation. You're not. I said it last week. You're not getting that temporary wound cavity. You're not gaining much. So the idea of a PCC with interchangeable mags or
What are you
reduced
talking about? You're
recoil,
not gaining much. You're gaining
You're really
200.
not.
You're gaining 200 foot-pound.
No, I can tell you what you're gaining. You're gaining 2 extra points of contact so that you can steady your 10 millimeter.
Right, and I'll give you the 2. I like the 2 extra points of contact on the gun. I'm a huge fan of rifles, and to a lesser extent, shotguns. We'll say long guns for the sake of argument for home defense. What I don't like is if you're going to put a pistol caliber into a long gun, why are you doing it? There has to be a purpose for doing it, right? If I want a PCC that uses Glock mags, there's a reason for that because I carry a Glock. Unless you're carrying the same gun chambered in 10 mil, you're not gaining anything. You might as well step up the rifle cartridge.
You're
you're
wrong all over the board.
Well, that's like your
things.
opinion, man.
No. I see. You have your opinion, and I'm right. So here's the situation.
I'm pretty sure I said the same thing in pre-show.
You did.
See, that's the good thing about having no memory whatsoever. I thought that was an original thought on my part, but
You better say it once more and claim it.
Right.
Yep.
What'd you say? If you say it twice, it's yours? Is that how it works?
I said twice is mine, and I got a new rule. I said it once is mine. Leave it alone.
Okay.
I look at it this way. People can buy what they want, and they really don't have to explain it to you or anyone else.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely. I'll
here's
give you
the
that.
thing. Those people have contacted High Point enough that High Point created this not because they figured I'm going to throw this out and maybe we'll get something. They've had people blowing them up for years now, telling them to come out with a pistol caliber 10 millimeter pistol caliber carbine and to thread the barrel. So now you have a pistol caliber carbine with a threaded barrel that people have been asking for. So you
I don't doubt that this is going to sell. I don't doubt that at all.
That's my thing. It's not even questionable. They know they have a market because people have been asking for it. They're willing to pay for it. I've watched them on the forums talking about it for years. Last year I was at NRA and they told me they were really working on it. And they came through. They said they'd seen it before. They know they could do it, but they wanted it to be able to handle the hottest 10 millimeter loads out there. And they achieved that. They're giving people what they want.
Right, and that's a thing. And with blowback, it's a little bit easier to do because the blowback mechanism itself tends to bleed off whatever. It's
not for you.
Don't see it. No, it's absolutely not for me.
Listen, everything can't be.
I feel like it's my responsibility. I feel like it's my responsibility to put out there that there is absolutely no practical purpose for this unless you just love 10 mil. And if that's there's dudes out there that carry 10 mil because it kills the soul. And because of whatever other reason.
You're saying all of that and you're being cute about it, but understand the FBI needed that 10 mil because it ends gun.
No, they didn't. No, they didn't.
Believe me,
we thought they
needed more than
but that was a whole lot more that happened in *86 in that Miami shootout down there.
Do not steal my lines, man. We both know.
There are some underlying benefits to that though. So you figure for the price point it is coming out at with a decent can and even a tax stamp, you can be into that thing for right at $1,000 or a little bit less with a whole setup. So that's
the only one on the market. I
will say that anybody that's got can money and tax stamp money is buying that High Point
you're joking,
carbines.
right?
Am I wrong? Am I
Yes, you're very
am I
wrong.
way off base on this?
Yes, you are, and it is really hilarious when I listen to people. Go
Here are
ahead.
the two things it could possibly do, though. If it, let's say those people that, so you pick up this gun for $350, and then you like, oh, cool, man, I could spend another $400 on a can, $200 on a tax stamp, and I'm good to go. I got a really good setup. Another big benefit of them, I will say, making it is the more people start making 10 mil platforms, maybe this damn ammo will start coming down. The more people out there shooting it. So that's another thing. Like, if ammo can drop, a quarter a round, I will really appreciate it. Platforms, the better.
What is 10 mil running these days? Obviously, if it's not 9 or 5.56, I have no idea what.
A box of Buffalo Bore, I think that's, I want to say that's 220 or 230, was $38, I think, for a box of.
That's their hard cast lead
Buffalo Bore is
nose.
some really high.
Yeah.
Well, if you're going
high loaded ammo.
Yeah, but if you're shooting out a carbine, there's no reason not to shoot the biggest, highest stuff available.
Buffalo Bore is
I'll give
usually
you that.
higher than what I buy.
Most, I think some of the the target loads I have at home for mine, I think they were steel, man. I think it still came out to like, for a box of 20, I still think it was like pretty much close to $1 a round after taxes. It's not cheap.
Yeah,
I'm going to go ahead and throw out there to all the listeners. Ammo Seek is an app, and you should get it because you can get cheap ammo, and it's the greatest thing ever. So Ammo Seek, it's an app. Look it up.
Ammo Seek is an awesome app. Ammo Seek is awesome. Ammo Seek is also a pretty good website. But they don't sell ammo; they'll take you to them. People who do, and all
it's like a search engine basically.
And they go by cost per round if you want to do it that way. It's real
it's
simple.
basically like Google for ammo.
But anyway, on this 10 millimeter tip, a lot of cult 10 millimeter dudes out there, as in CULT cult. They really dig the 10.
Yes.
And there's nothing they want to buy everything in 10 millimeter. They own the Smith & Wessons that the FBI used to issue in 10 millimeter. Everything you can find. The crazy part about a lot of stuff, though, with 10 millimeter is this: a lot of the regular loads, full metal jacket target loads, are pretty much barely even hot 40 caliber in velocity, and that kind of sucks. But when you get in the hot 10s, you get in the hot 10s. Why do people do it? No, I don't think the mom who's going to protect her home is worrying about a 10 millimeter. I think dudes that want to hunt. I think dudes that want to just have a 10 millimeter because no one else does. I think they will. And understand, getting into high point, if you're getting a pistol caliber carbines, high point is the least expensive way you can get a pistol caliber carbine.
Sure.
Now, one of the things that somebody that goes on high point forums, or at least used to a lot, one of the assumptions a lot of people make is you got a high point because you can't afford anything else. And you are so wrong on that assumption based on what? If you can buy a Glock, you can buy only stuff that costs $500. Like, that's what I'm saying, though. It's an assumption.
I had a 9mm high point carbine, and I didn't
what
care
other guns
for it
did you
much.
have? What other guns did you have? Or did you only have things in high point price range?
At the time, no, I had other stuff, but at the time, that's what I had, and I didn't care for it. It wouldn't feed. And this was, again, this is 10 years ago. So they may have changed things, but at the time, it would not feed anything hollow point. The safety selector broke off. The trigger was terrible. And again, they may have completely revamped their whole line. I don't know.
But you know what they did have 10 years ago, right? A lifetime warranty.
Yeah.
You could have gotten into you big dummy.
Yeah, I just got it. I just sold it to someone. I'm like, here, take this piece of junk off my hands.
I'm going to tell Zane a reason why somebody might want a 10 millimeter carbine.
I'm all ears.
Okay. It might be kind of hard to understand, but for $350, you could care less if it's sliding around in the back of your pickup, but still has the power to actually shoot a hog. And you're not sliding around your $1,000 AR in the back. So
yeah, but I got a $200 bolt gun that'll do that. It slides around in the back of my truck.
So now we just went from a semi-auto To
No,
a bolt gun.
I understand there's a difference there, but if that's your main if that's your main reasoning, like
It's just a reason.
Like, and granted, I'm in a state that allows rifle cartridges for hunting. So if you're in a state that only allows straight wall cartridges, maybe that's a thing. I don't know.
Okay, how's this? Zane figured out what he already knew, that the high point pistol carbine isn't, or no pistol caliber carbine is for him until he builds one on the AR platform.
I'm going to build one.
He's going to have so much fun with that thing.
I'm going to build one, and I'm probably going to hate it, but I'm going to build it.
No, you're not.
No, you're not, you big homo. Oh, he is so freaking twisted. Let's go.
I'm going to go into something.
Assume my sexual orientation?
No, I didn't.
Hey, we don't talk about that stuff here, okay?
Hold on. I really had to clear this up since
Man, did we just get it twisted big time?
Yep.
Oh, Lord. Let's go. Next item, please.
That's right.
Your face in life. I am so old that homo does not mean sexuality. It means I built upon knowing you.
I'm just messing with you, Tony. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I know, with your deal or whatever. Like, that's what you're trying to do is bring everybody in. I know you wouldn't.
Yeah, no.
But
why do you think he's your friend, Zane?
Exactly.
Oh,
like
sorry.
he likes weird people like me.
I can't help it. You're
exactly.
In the
All right, so let's move on to this atrocity.
We're going to move on to the next item, which, I'm going to say, I stuck this in here mainly because it's another 10 millimeter. Mm-hmm. So what we have is the Ruger's new 10 millimeter Super Red Hawk. Okay, now this is way out of the price range for what we're getting here. First of all,
I can get a high point.
6-shot. You can get like 4 high points. Okay. The MSRP on this
more
baby.
More people are going to agree with Zane on this one.
Yes, the MSRP on this thing is $1,159. Okay. I can like a revolver now and then, but I have never liked the looks of the Red Hawk. But if you're a revolver fan and a 10 millimeter fan, this might be your ticket. So we'll go into this.
Oxymoron.
I know. It's got their standard cushioned rubber hardwood grip. It's got a ramp front sight. It holds 6 rounds of 10 millimeter.
It comes with a sticker that you can put on the wall that says "Bash your head here."
It has adjustable rear sights. It weighs 54 ounces.
Jeez.
Yeah, 54 ounces. The barrel length is 6.5 inches. It is not California approved. Imagine that.
Go figure.
It does have a triple locking cylinder, which I guess helps with the pressures. It's stainless.
The what?
Okay.
What pressures? This
seriously.
I know.
Designed to shoot 44 mag. What pressure?
I know.
Seriously.
Okay, but it uses moon clips, so you can at least reload it fairly fast.
Because it has to.
Yeah, because that's what you do. Because that's what you do with a 54-ounce revolver.
Yeah. I mean, the one advantage to shooting 10 millimeter out of this thing is if you can hold it up, it's not going to recoil.
No, the one advantage of this is if you're shooting a Glock 40 and 10 already and you don't feel like expanding to another caliber and just have to have a revolver.
That's not even a good reason.
And it's still not even a great reason.
Hold on. All right. You finished reading the description of this nightmare?
I'm done.
Okay, cool. Damn. Kev was so offended, he just dropped out of the call.
Right? He's just like, you know what? I'm out. This thing is retarded. I'm done.
He was like, they can't even be serious on this show. All right. Here's the thing. I was looking at it and I'm going, what was that?
Now go ahead.
Off. His hotel's like.
Oh. Okay. What I have going on is I looked at this and I went, why on earth would I want a 10 millimeter revolver when the only advantage of 10 millimeter is in a semi-auto is because you got that power in a semi-automatic firearm?
Well, someone understands how I feel about 4 points of contact with a pistol cartridge in it.
No, because it's not a rifle. So anyway, it's not a rifle. So I have no idea what you're talking about. Flip the other side is this: why would I have a revolver in 10 millimeter when I can have a 44 Magnum revolver with much more power? Or 357
because you
revolver
want
with
one?
almost the same
I
power.
don't know why.
A 45 Mag. No, but this is what I did because I really couldn't think of a reason to have a 10 millimeter revolver. So I went into the comment section doing the thing you should never do.
Why would you do that?
Because I wanted to, no, because I really want to hear the other. Listen, we're fair and balanced, or whatever the thing Chad reads.
We ain't Fox News.
Neither are they. Anyway, when I read it, what a lot of guys said, and this is what I brought up before in the 10 millimeter club. These guys want anything in 10 millimeter. A lot of them want to get 10 millimeter as hot as possible. They're just 10 millimeter dudes. So they shoot 10 millimeter carbines. They shoot 10 millimeter semi-autos, and they shoot a 10 millimeter revolver. That is just their thing. I think that because Ruger has 5 million SKUs anyway, that adding one more was just no big deal. I think
this is going to sell. Don't just like the High Point. People are going to buy this.
But here's the thing: with the High Point, at least I know there's a price point that's not ridiculous in pistol caliber carbines, and it is pretty much the only pistol caliber carbine in 10 millimeter.
Here's the other thing with revolvers chambered and pistol cartridges.
Go ahead.
So, revolver cartridges have a pretty hefty crimp on them for a reason. Pistol cartridges don't have a crimp ordinarily, and if they do, it's a very weak crimp because bullet jump isn't a thing in a semi-auto. You start putting, especially in 10 mil, but even in 9 mil revolvers, you start shooting rounds that aren't crimped. You're going to start getting bullet jump, and you're going to lock your cylinder up, and you're going to have an issue.
Well,
so you start talking about 10 millimeter loads with that higher pressures, you're going to get bullet jump out of this. Like that's going to be a thing.
That was said in this, and they were like, "Yeah, but here's the thing with the bullet jump. It has a really long cylinder, like longer than your bullet jump would be, so it'll just fall out."
Yeah, the bullet will fall out before anything happens.
It's not like a 357 or a 44 or anything else where it's right at the end of the projectile is right at the end of the cylinder. I don't think I think there's going to be bullet jump coming through the cylinder itself.
So this is based on the same frame as like a 44 mag, basically. It's the same
I forgot
length cylinder.
Yeah,
it's their big, huge frame.
Now I love. Because, again, reading the comments on this, I just wanted to get another perspective because no one makes a gun for nothing. I mean, I know the history of the High Point only because I've been on the forums and I know this was being begged for. This thing, I'm like, who was asking for this?
Yeah.
And I'm like, why would I have a 10 millimeter pistol in something the size of a 44 Magnum and still only have 6 rounds? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like a Smith & Wesson end frame is for 44s, but they have 7 and 8 shots Smith & Wesson 357 Magnums on an end frame.
So my thing with it, is again, if you're a 10 mil guy and that's what you use for the sake of not branching out, maybe. But because I want a revolver in 9 mil, I want to get one of the Ruger, LCRs in 9 mil, just because I buy 9 mil by the 1,000. That's a round I have on hand. So that's a thing. I understand the shortcomings.
Yeah.
So I guess if you're like a 10 mil dude and you want a revolver on hand that can shoot that caliber, maybe this is a thing. But again, I feel about this the same way I feel about the 10 mil High Point, and that it's pretty much useless.
I think you say useless for anything that's niche, and this is niche. I mean, they have the people for that.
Extremely niche.
Yeah, 10 millimeters.
Actually, I think the 10 millimeter Red Hawk is probably more niche than the High Point carbine.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that one.
My thing is this though: somebody wants to, and this is about hunting. Yeah. Maybe they can hunt in more places with a 10 millimeter revolver if they want to be the guy that hunts with 10 millimeter. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's a lot of ifs, and again, it's niche. It's just that thing. It's that niche thing. I pronounced it different ways in one sentence. Wow.
Well, maybe
Anyway,
it's the round that's actually driving everything instead of the platforms. Because remember what the 300 blackout did to the AR platform? Everybody had to have a 300 blackout in various forms and things like that. Maybe this is maybe it's more of the round than it is the manufacturer. Maybe
No,
the
and
10
that's actually
Well,
a really
have you
good
noticed
point.
that firearms are very, very clicky? Very, very
Oh yeah, no.
cyclical?
People get very emotionally attached to their firearms, their round, their gear, everything.
yeah,
Who
dude.
gets attached to Glocks?
What was that? Yeah, I know
Oh, a
dude
lot
that's
of
attached to Glocks in
people,
the
like even way worse than me. A lot of people.
Oh, a lot
And
of people.
like Kevin was saying, when the 300 blackout came out, it was
Everybody had
designed
to
for a
have it.
specific purpose, and that purpose
And now it's
ain't a
6.5
six.
feet more.
That purpose isn't a 16-inch barrel coming from a
Nope.
semi-automatic unsuppressed gun, but
Yep.
yet they sold millions of them. So,
Hey, and that's why we're friends, Zane, because of that stupidity.
like that's a thing, and they sold millions of those guns. So yes, absolutely, something comes. It's a new hotness. People want it. This is going to just like the 10 mil high point. This is going to sell. People are going to buy this. I don't think it's going to be a lot, but there are going to be folks who are going to buy this, and they're going to swear by it, and they're going to be on the internet gun forums talking about how it's the greatest thing since sliced bread, and I'm going to probably get banned from that particular internet forum for telling them it's not.
Here's another thing I found out with this, though, and because you're not into it, you don't know. They use stuff like this as basis to build custom bills and weird calibers that aren't out there. Like 38,
I can see
40.
that.
They do stuff like that.
Wildcat stuff. Rebarrel it. And
It's crazy because, again, if I didn't read the comments, I would not know that was out there. That they would take this and use it as a basis to something else that's easier to get to because it's built on such a large frame. They can really build hot stuff with it. And it's just a thing. There's more to a lot of different markets than we think.
And based on this frame, you can probably soup this cartridge up and really get some performance out of it. And you could possibly lengthen the cartridge, like you're talking about, lengthen the case. But at what point, are you just reinventing the wheel?
Doesn't make any difference. Wildcatters don't care about that. They're just
absolutely. They don't care at all.
And if it wasn't for Wildcatters, we wouldn't have 6.5 Creedmoor, which is taken off like hotcakes. So,
okay. Put that one to rest also, and I kind of threw it in there because I knew all of us would probably be like, why did they make this? Now we're into something that we all might be able to somewhat agree on. It is the new it's the new IWI Masada pistol. Basically it's their 9mm polymer striker fired pistol, and I gotta love this. I'm reading their website. The Masada features a low profile barrel for reduced perceived recoil. I don't know what a low profile barrel is, but hey, whatever.
At least it's not
I think they meant like slide barrel.
At least
that's
it's not
right.
a match grade low profile barrel.
But it does have full ambi controls, which is a nice thing. Comes with 3 interchangeable back straps. It's normal polymer frame. Utilizes modular serialized high grade steel trigger mechanism housing that can be removed. So I'm guessing some sort of, maybe it's serial numbered, maybe it's not. The trigger pulls averages 5.5 to 7 pounds. So,
wow,
pretty much your standard striker fired stock trigger. Regular flippy trigger safety, the normal stuff. Polygonal rifled barrel.
That's never been done before.
Nope. I know.
Which is weird because Glock just went away from that.
I know. And +1 capacity, so full size pistol. Yep.
Does it use Glock mags?
Yeah. Oh,
it should.
it should. Yeah.
It really should.
Basically, that's basically what it is. We don't have a price on it. Let's see, slide stop mag release, manual safety, special order. So at least it doesn't have one. Yes.
Hey,
It's got a pick rail. That's basically it. Let's see, 4.1 inch barrel. The other things I don't want to convert to metric from American, etc. I like the looks of it. I'd actually really like to shoot one when they. But basically, it's just an IWI pistol,
So
full size duty pistol.
here's my thoughts. Glock guy here, and go ahead and get your recorders out because you're going to want to.
Oh, it's recording.
Glock is not perfection as they would lead you to believe. In case anyone was unaware of that, I welcome any polymer 9mm striker fired gun to the market because I'm in search of a better gun than a Glock.
Hold on, here's my shot face that you welcome a 9mm striker fired polymer gun.
No, but seriously, when the CZ P10C came out, I was excited for it. When the FN 509 came out, I mean the new Beretta that's coming out just came out.
Hold on a second, then. Hey everybody, get yourself ready. Get the recorders out. I'm a fat guy that likes bacon.
No, but seriously, as up until now. As up until now, like I'm still pretty Glock centric at this point. It's not perfect. I do a lot of work to them. I don't shoot them stock. If this works and if it's reliable and it comes in at a decent price point, that $500-$600 price point, I'll play with it.
I like it too. I like what it has. I like the undercut on the barrel, so it gives you that high grip. It's the Glock 19 length. If I did my metrics right, actually, I just compared the two sites.
You did.
Yeah, it's a 19 length slide in like a 17 length grip, which is kind of that sweet spot.
Yep. Now, my thing is this: hopefully it works well. Hopefully it sells well. Again, I don't understand this 2-pound difference in trigger pull at this point.
Yeah, that's a big difference.
Yeah, at this point between the Walther PPQ and the HK VP9, they've kind of shown you how to make a good trigger on a striker fired gun. There is no reason for you to have a 2-pound swing in trigger pull.
Yeah, and as many companies out there are making aftermarket triggers. Yeah. Like even if triggers like a thing, that's easy. That's an easy fix.
Yeah, and again, I'm not saying trigger's not a thing. I'm just wondering why is this huge swing even on your own website? What sites are on it? Because the sites they put down are optional. Do you end up with a metal site, metal just plain sights, or do you have like the dovetail protectors that Glock come with? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it says it's like night sights optional, but it doesn't say what standard.
It just says combat style sights are standard.
Right,
yeah. You can tell.
What does that mean?
But they kind of engineered this gun around the guy that's going to want to be more of an operator. One thing that sticks out to me right away is that trigger guard. Look how massive that thing is. So that screams gloves to me. Right. They want you to wear gloves. When you look at the mag well, look how it's cut. Look how the magazine sits. So the mag's not sitting in there. You can strip that mag out pretty easy. I mean, it's just there. There's nothing for it to get hung up on. So it looks like they are kind of gonna. They're not. It doesn't seem like, which they should have. You should be marketing this for concealed carry with it being a barrel length of 19 in a compact size. But it seems like they're going like tactical operator do. We want to appeal to that market with this gun, which I think is a mistake.
Yeah, because I'm looking at them like this. Who goes with IWI for their pistols? I mean, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
and not that
IWI
the pistols suck.
No, and IWI is. I mean, they are marketing their guns to the military. I mean, the Tavor. That's kind of their bread and butter right now. Or not the Tavor. The X95 is whatever it's called.
Yeah, but they also have. I mean, IWI sells around the world. IWI sells to a lot of militaries that we pay no attention to because we think everybody does ARs or AKs, and it's not true. IWI sells a lot. But my thing is the United States, the American civilian market is a thing that you can't blow off. Now, they're doing this SIG thing with this. I don't even know what they call the metal insert. I'm assuming it's like a SIG 320.
Yeah,
you can pull it out.
It's supposedly a chassis system. You can, just like the 320, from what I was reading.
So my thing is, if you can do that, let's go ahead and get it, and maybe you can swap out the lower, and have a Glock 19 size lower with the Glock 19 size slide and barrel, and that would just make a lot of sense.
Yeah, I would actually prefer a 17 size slide on a 19
size frame.
Rip. Yep. But again, military purchase drives police purchase, drives concealed carry purchase. What the military uses, that's what the cops use. That's what the quote unquote in crowd, uses.
Now
that's why Glock is the quintessential.
What's up?
That's why, go ahead.
Well, that brings another concern, because you're right. You're totally right, Zane. That is the way things have went for a long time. But when you look at and work like Tony does and I do, dude, I give you 3 more years. That is not going to be the case. It's going to be Sarah that works at Walmart that's buying a gun that's going to determine what people are picking up. And I think that whole I want to be the military operator dude is starting to be shunned on more than anything, because people just want to be able to have a gun. So I actually have people come into the store now that are like, what else can I buy that's not a Glock?
Yep.
I don't want to be like, what's different? What's different out there? And I'm a big HK guy, so I swing around HK if they got the money for it, or even the Smith & Wessons are all selling Glocks now in the store. I'm not saying it's a national thing, but
Smith & Wesson Shield right now, for the money they're charging, that's a hard thing to pass up.
Now, this is what I just had happen to me today.
Oh, go ahead, Tom.
My sister, who is as liberal as can be, came to me last year and asked about taking a pistol class. So we put together a pistol class for her and a couple of other people just to get them in. She went shooting on her own last night with a friend, and this is her text to me. I don't like the Glock. I don't like the way it feels. I want to shoot some other stuff. I really think it is this Gen X. I mean, not Gen X. These millennials, these new people that are shooting, they're not as influenced as the generation before them that got into this. They want other stuff. That's when CZ is coming on strong right now. That's what I use. That's what I have, a CZ75. It is, things are changing.
And that's
Glock is.
I've got several family members who've shot my Glocks, and they're like, these things are horrible. So they've got SIG 320s and other stuff.
So what
Glock's
are we saying?
Absolutely not for everybody. I mean, I'll tell you right now, a stock. I don't like a stock Glock from the factory. The first thing I do when I get a Glock is I get my Dremel out and I cut the finger grooves off and I throw an undercut up. They're not perfection like they'll have you to believe. And as a Glock fanboy, I'll be the first one to tell you that. So yeah, I like these other companies coming out with better. Beretta just came out with a new gun that's, supposedly going to rock the market or whatever. What I have a problem with is when guns come to market and they're substandard, and they're not reliable, and they get this cult following, Springfield XC, that people just
Taurus 24/7.
Taurus 24. Yeah. I have a Taurus 24/7, and it's I'm not allowed to cuss on this show. It's a piece of junk.
But I'm
so if this gun is reliable and it's a good thing, and if it has that modularity that you can throw it in a 26, even like 26 size frame, because that's a good size frame for concealed carry. If that's a thing, and if it has the reliability, if it has the aftermarket support, great. What I worry about is it's not going to have that, and people are going to have a cult following to it.
My thing, that was only one thing that does bother me about the time and release of this gun. So IWIs went public, right? And so I'm wondering if this gun was enough to sell the IPO, and that bothers me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, was this gun timed and stated to release to make the IPO, that original one, like shoot up through the roof? So that's concerning. That's the only thing so that basically we tossed this together to make sure when we went public, we got, our shares are worth more money. So now we have handguns and rifles, and look what we can do. We got a new thing on the market. We're going to shoot through the roof. So I would be a little concerned about that.
Here's the thing. The IWI Jericho, which is a copy of a CZ75, They have out in polymer. They have out in every size, double, single, safety, or they also have decocker version. So
Don't they have that? Is that the gun that has that weird like double action? Or
No.
like
No.
No, that's
Okay.
Lionheart Industries or that's
Okay.
the Daewoo.
All right. Yep.
But no, this is just their straight copy of a CZ75 with the slide mounted decocker, the slide mounted safety. As you know, I really do like CZs, and this is how they established themselves in the pistol world. They used to call them baby eagles. You know what I mean? They called them all of that. These things rock. They step into the striker fire world. I'm like, why did they only come pretty much with a duty size pistol when you have sub compact, and duty size Jerichos? Like, why did you just come
Tony,
on one side?
I think what they're probably doing is if it's truly a chassis system, my guess is they're putting this one out there. They're going to see how it does. They're probably going to bring out the others, or at least a compact version or something. And if this particular handgun doesn't do well in the US, they may not bring the others out because they're not looking for that market.
But the market
because they're
out there, the market in the US is concealed carry market.
Well, here's the thing,
right.
though.
And
but here's the other thing, though. So, like, you bring out your gun, you know, your premier quote unquote gun, and you market that to the people like me who want a Glock 17, who want a full size M&P, and you get a name there, and then you release your 43, your Shield. Once you have a name for yourself, that could be the strategy they're going with there too. So
who knows?
Yeah,
I wish them
who knows?
I wish them luck.
Yeah.
Hopefully the mags don't cost $45 a piece like stuff from HK and CZ, because that's tiring. That really is tiring.
Yeah, if they can have a $29.99 MSRP on a magazine, that's going to help them hit it out of the park too.
You can get Magpul Glock mags for about $20.
Yep, I got mine for $15.
That's for like a 21 rounder.
Yeah, I have about eight. I have about 8 of those 21 rounders in the room right there.
Yeah,
you just bragging now because I live in Jersey and you hate me. But that's all right.
Jeez, this thing isn't even Jersey compliant.
Your face isn't Jersey compliant.
Nothing is Jersey compliant.
Well, that's not telling me anything I don't know. Well, now that we've thoroughly dismissed the IWI, we will. Which I actually kind of like the looks of.
I wouldn't say dismiss, just
no,
skeptical.
I know.
I'm skeptical.
We got questions.
I hope it's cool. Hey, if they want to send me one, I'll be more than happy to run it through its paces.
Well, and the thing is it's IWI, so you know,
they're not sending anything to anybody.
Make terrible firearms. I mean, look at the Tavor. I mean,
yeah. Look at the Tavor.
Yeah,
well, if you like stuff
Colt.
like that.
People used to say that about Colt until they came out with the Colt All-American.
This is true. Okay, Tony's got a point there.
Yeah, and that's coming from a guy who's got a Colt AR at arm's reach, and yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so I didn't have any listener feedback, even though somebody said they were going to send us some.
Ed
so Tony
fell asleep on his computer.
That was my buddy.
Okay, that makes sense.
That was Zane's fan. That was Zane's fanboy that said he was going to send in feedback. Second is for everyone, diversity shoot. The next event is November 30th at Gun for Hire Range in Woodland Park, 6 p.m. $10 at the door. Pay when you come in. That money goes to the range. Make sure you go and check in at the retail area in the back. Come early so you can do your paperwork because it's of course it's a range and they need to do the paperwork, safety brief, whole thing. We're going to have a lot of fun. It's going to be pizza. It's going to be sodas. It's going to be your Second Amendment rights being discussed with the NRA ILA representative there. And we're going to have CNJFO, which is another Second Amendment group in New Jersey. They're going to be there. I'm going to have, of course, first 10 people through the door get cool swag bags, raffles, tons of guns. Haven't decided what I'm going to bring yet. Might bring the 9mm high point carbine and just call it the Zane Lane and have people come and shoot there. We're going to have Who knows? Maybe I'll bring the Henry Golden Boy lever action for people to shoot. It's going to be fun. We have the 50-yard range. We have 200 rental guns that night are free to rent. You have to pay for range ammo, of course. We're just going to discuss your Second Amendment rights. We're going to hand out paperwork if you wanted to get pistol purchase permit or a firearms ID card in New Jersey. We're there to help you grow, to get into the Second Amendment, regardless of your race, your age, your sexuality. It makes no difference to us. I'm sorry, age, you got to be 10 years old. You have to be 10 years old minimum and come with your parent. We welcome you all. If you want to reach out to us, it's diversityshoot.com. If you want to help us out, you can go on our GoFundMe. It's The Second is for Everyone. Pull it up, help us out. And at diversityshoot.com, we still have T-shirts available if you want them in black or white. Check me out on Instagram, Simon Says Train, Facebook, Simon Says Train, or The Second is for Everyone. Really appreciate it. And also coming up, we have the Minuteman Championship Chip Holder Challenge. That's only going to be for people who've already won prior events, and that's coming up this Sunday. Thanks very much. As always, I really appreciate it, guys.
Woohoo. So now we're into the wrap up, as you guys probably already know.
Hang on.
No.
Hang on, Kevin. What you got?
Kev.
What you got going on?
I was going to hit him later, but go ahead.
Oh.
Yeah, I would appreciate anybody that wants to follow me, keep up with the efforts that we're doing, and also some guns and gun reviews and things like that, and some fun stuff. Please follow me on Facebook. You can follow the business page at NOC for No Other Choice, NOC Firearms Training. If you like YouTube, it's NOC Firearms Channel. It's NOC Firearms Channel. On Facebook, you can look me up as Kevin Dixie. That's D as in dog, IXIE. And on Instagram, it's at NOC Firearms Training. And if you're at all interested in helping out and helping people enrich their lives and get into guns, you can go to Patreon/NOC Firearms. Stay looking out. If you want to stay linked into the social media, you will see the program featured on the Noir show this year that should be coming out sometime before the end of this month. So I'll be sharing that on the page. You can see what me, Coleon, and Darren Lassore put together to highlight the event. And leading out throughout the year, we'll be doing a lot of stuff for Christmas and things like that. And then I'm going to take a break and get ready for SHOT Show.
Nice. Well, we appreciate you coming on. And you can stick around for the wrap up.
Sure.
If you have some questions, comments, or want to send us some feedback like Ed, gungearreview@gmail.com. Remember to subscribe and leave us a review on iTunes also, as that helps people find us. Check out all the other shows on the Firearms Radio Network at firearmsradio.tv. Be sure to visit the Firearms Insider for reviews and industry coverage. And you can check us out on Facebook, basically /Firearms Insider. You can follow us at Firearms Insider on Instagram, and we are out.
Bye,
Bye, Felicia.
Yeah, someone's supposed